We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 161. Today we're going to talk about my NFL pick of the week. My top three. We're 6-0 the last 2 weeks. An amazing week with the election and my week in poker. The Mouthpiece is next. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece Election Edition. It was a beatdown, a landslide. We got possibly 6 flip Senate seats, the House, the popular vote, an electoral landslide. Why? Because America woke up to the truth. And the people that sit back and wonder what happened need to realize 75 million people aren't racist or Hitler or Nazis, and that you've been lied to over and over. Now, I put out a video. I reposted a video on Twitter for all my Democrat friends to watch, because then you will see how much you've been lied to. And I won $20,000 on the election. But I should have won $300,000. But I won a lot more than that, because as last I saw, Bitcoin was $77,000 a coin, and my portfolio, let's see how much up it is today. It just goes up every day. Let's see. Is it over? Oh, nice. So it's gone up 70,000 since the election. So it's been a great week for me. Daniel's Twitter post went viral. Elon Musk said exactly, and then Fox News picked it up, and it was on Fox News. And then people were putting underneath, yeah, give Daniel all the credit, but Mike's been saying it for the last 8 years, and they thought he was crazy. But it's okay that Daniel got credit, because you know what? I'm done with politics on Twitter. I did my job. I got the most famous poker players in the world, the ones with all the influence, to finally see the truth. And that was all I cared about. I'm no longer crazy Mike that went down a rabbit hole, since every conspiracy that I ever said would happen happened. And it feels good. Well, Daniel's always a smart guy. Like I said, he was stuck in his echo chamber. And when you're stuck in an echo chamber and you don't look outside of it, it's hard to see what's really going on. And when Broke Mike was trying to show him, he didn't respect me. But when Elon Musk, the guy he bought the first Tesla from, was showing him the way, he was able to see it. So, I feel good that I was able to get poker players that lived in Nevada, people to understand what was going on. And for people listening that didn't see Daniel's tweet that went viral, I think it's something important that I could read it to you guys, because it really was a really well-written tweet. And, and everything he says, it's the truth. And so, I'll reread it here on the podcast, because I want people to realize that, what the truth is in the world. So Daniel put out a tweet, and I'll read it to you guys in case anybody didn't see it. He said, "You conspired to block Bernie. You discarded and defamed Tulsi Gabbard. You didn't invite Elon Musk to a summit on electric vehicles. You blocked RFK and others from having any path to make their cause in the primary. You embraced wokeism and identity politics, demonizing the evil white cisgender male population. Extra scorn for those who have attained financial wealth. You further insult them by telling them that they didn't vote for Kamala because they are racist and misogynist. You then anointed the most unpopular VP of all time and tried to gaslight us into thinking she's the next coming because Meg Stallion shook her ass on stage to get the vote out. Because of joy. What exactly did you expect would happen? These are your sins. Will you learn from them or continue to repeat them? America has spoken. They are not buying what the DNC is selling. Wake up call. There you go. There you go. I mean, you couldn't hit it any more on top of what he said. I mean, it's just, as somebody who's a Democrat his whole life, I mean, I don't know what else to say, you know. And I'm proud of him that he was able to see the light and see what's going on. Like I said, we've been great friends for 26 years. And, here's another thing that he wrote. Very good post. The fact that America overwhelmingly looked past felonies and impeachment should tell you how much people aren't aligned with the direction the DNC has taken. Millions of voters who do not like this man, Daniel one of them, me half of one, or approve of his behavior, still felt he was a better option than what you offered up. Washington is an ugly jungle, and people were okay with sending a savage in there because he talked about things they actually cared about. Inflation, immigration, foreign policy. They are not hiring him to be a Sunday school teacher. You ran mainly on abortion rights. What else? Question mark. Other than Trump is a bad man, of course. Drop the gender fluid pronouns and taxpayer-funded reassignment surgery for transgender inmates nonsense. Full stop. You demand that we accept there are 7,143 genders, and defining a woman is impossible. The best you could come up with as a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. You ask us not to believe our own eyes when we watched a biological male, verified boxer, beat up women and be awarded a gold medal for it. Those who even question the fairness of it, you label bigots. Go woke, go broke is real. People are really fed up with Ivy League elites talking about working classes. They are animals that couldn't survive without them. You speak on behalf of people uninterested with your perception that Latino and Latina was somehow offensive and needed to be replaced by Latinx. Obama won because he ran. He focused on these people, care about health care and economy. Drop every aspect of the woke ideology or you'll never win again. These are facts. These are facts. You have this woman right here. She says, Democrat strategists, we are no longer the party of common sense. Stop with the virtue signaling and speak to people like they're normal. Until we do that, we should stop blaming other people for our own mistakes. There you go. These are things that need to be done. We need to have two parties healthy in our country. We need to have right-wing ideas, left-wing ideas. And then when you run, you come to the middle and you vote on which ideas are best. Like I've been saying for weeks, you can't run on hate. You can't run on kill babies, hate Trump. Kill babies, hate Trump. That's all I saw commercials. Abortion, 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 abortion. Trump, Trump, Trump's Hitler. Trump's going to kill us all. Trump, Trump, Trump. We've had Trump for 4 years. He didn't fucking start a war. He didn't do any of that. People weren't buying that nonsense. Even if it's true, that's not what you run on. The stock market has exploded since his election. Bitcoin has exploded. Might even get to 100,000 by the end of the year. Why? Because Trump ran on Bitcoin. Trump ran on cryptocurrency. The other side called it a threat to democracy, and all the terrorists were using it. There you go. We'll get more about the election in a little bit. But now let's talk about my on fire in the NFL. As after we went 0-8-1 in 3 weeks, we've come back with 7-0. 1 on Thursday, 3-0 this week. We are now 4-4-1 on our pick of the week, 5-4 on number 2, and 5-4 on number 3. So we're moving up and picking winners. And with that in mind, I am going to give you my pick of the week. Now, I got down on my pick of the week early. I laid 5.5 on the New York Giants. It's now 6.5. I do believe the Giants are going to win this game and win this game big. And you know, there's like 3 or 4 games I just love this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with the pick of the week with the Giants because the line's moved to 6.5, and I just don't know if you guys getting a bad line if it's going to be, you know, what. But I have my 3 best. God, I like so many games this week. I've actually bet 4 games. I bet the Saints +4. Which might be my pick of the week. I'm not sure yet. I bet the Colts +4, which might be the pick of the week. I'm not sure yet. I bet the Giants -5.5 at 6.5 now. And I bet the Broncos +8.5. It's 7.5. And those are my picks. Those are my 4 picks. I also like the Cardinals. It's now 1.5. It's Jets favorite. I took the Jets +1 earlier in the week. All the games that I love moved. You know what that tells me? And I also love Miami against the Rams. So like all 5 of the games that I marked down on Tuesday as my top 5 picks before I saw any live movement, before I saw any injury reports, every one of my lines moved between 1 and 3 points. So that's just me before I look at anything. That means that we are level-headed and on top of the world. I mean, on top of what's going on. And I even had the Bengals yesterday for a bet, +6. We won that. So overall, we were on an upswing. I even got 48 points in my pick'em contest last week out of 55 to get 3rd place for $1,000. So things are looking really, really, really up. So it all comes down to which one I like the best, and I have decided that I like the Saints +4 as my pick of the week. Now it is down to 3.5 and moving. I do like the 3.5. I got it at 4. I recommend people, if they really want to take it, to maybe buy it to 4. I'll tell you why. The Saints dominated the Panthers last week after losing Chris Olave, which really hurt them. They outgained them by 250 yards and had 0 turnovers and lost the game. They become the first team in NFL history to do that. The Panthers didn't do anything except on the last drive. And the Giants have been like competitive. They had the one bad game against Philly, take away the bad game against Philly, and they've had a chance to win, I think, almost all their games. They had a chance last week against Washington. Washington's really good. And somehow they keep finding ways to lose. But the Panthers are without their left tackle. They lost him last week. He's going to be out this week again. The defensive guy for the Giants who leads the team in tackles with 35, played for Carolina last year. It's a revenge game. The Giants lead the league in sacks with 35 sacks. And I just don't think the Giants have a chance. I don't think Jacksonville has a chance. But going back to the Saints game, what we're talking about, I got them both mixed up. Going back to the Saints game, so the Saints dominated last week and gave away the game. And the first game they played, they dominated Atlanta, and they lost. And so people are overreacting by making Atlanta a 4-point road favorite. Atlanta is not good enough to lay 4 points on the road. All the sharps are on this game. So, I'm going to go with the Saints. It's my pick of the week. And my second best pick of the week, I'm going to go with what I bet. And so I took the Colts +4. And I'm going to tell you why I love the Colts in this spot. The Colts were a disaster last week on Sunday Night Football. And the Bills got the last-second 61-yard field goal to beat Miami and have just took a complete stranglehold. They got over a five-game lead with tiebreakers on the division. So they've locked up the division. Now they got to go on the road to Indianapolis, where Indianapolis is a great home team. And they got the Kansas City Chiefs on deck next week for basically the number 1 seed. The Colts do play the Bills well. The Bills are missing a shitload of defensive players. And I think 1 offensive players. So this is just a spot play. I love the fact, and my third best pick of the week is going to be the other spot play, which is Denver. So Mahomes is like 4-19 against the spread, laying 7 or more points. This is a dead spot for him. So Kansas City had to go to overtime on a Monday on a short week to win a game because the dumbass fucking coach doesn't go for 2. Now they play a division opponent with the Bills on deck in Buffalo. Okay? This is a spot that Denver is not as bad as they looked against the Ravens last week. The Ravens offense is humming, and Denver went up and down the field the first half. They just got stopped on 4th down 3 times. Or that could have been like 28-21 Denver at halftime. So the score didn't reflect what I watched the game in the first half. And that's why I like Denver. I'm on all the dogs this week, guys. Last week I had all 3 favorites. So because the line has moved, I'm not making it my pick of the week. And that was the Giants, where I laid 5 at 6.5. But my 3 picks that I'm going to give out to you. Number 1, Saints +4. I think you could buy it up to 4. Number 2 is, I'm really hot, guys, right now. So it's like, I don't even know where to go. Number 2 are the Colts +4. And number 3 are the Broncos. 7.5 now. I got 8.5. I think you could wait on this before game time. I don't think it's ever going to 7. It might go back up to 8. These are just great spots. The Broncos and the Indy are basically me going against the look ahead of the Kansas City Bills matchup, which is basically going to be for the number 1 seed. Because if the Bills win this game by a field goal, and then they play Kansas City and win next week, they'll basically be 1 game back with the tiebreaker. And Kansas City's schedule gets really weak after this, and they could easily go undefeated. They could easily... that'll be a big game next week. So going against the look ahead, Saints, new coach, Played a lot better than the result last week. Getting 4 at home against Atlanta. And London, Drake London's out for Atlanta, which is a big weapon for them. So, there you go. Saints, number 1 pick. Indy, number 2. Broncos, number 3. And you sprinkle that in with, I bet a teaser. I've got a teaser. I got the Bengals, the Giants, and San Francisco. In a 3-team 1K teaser. So I still have I have the Giants bet straight at 5.5, and I also have the teaser. And that's it. I liked Arizona, and I love Miami. Now, I have Miami as my 4th best pick. The Jets as my 5th best pick. Why do I like Miami? Okay. I almost put them in my top 3. And again, I took 2.5 early in the week. The lines moved to 1. Why do I like Miami? Well, Miami's put up 27 in back-to-back weeks. At home against Arizona, they led by double digits with like 7 minutes to go and found a way to lose. I have no idea how. When you score 27 points in the NFL, unless you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you're supposed to win. They put it all out against Buffalo last week. The guy kicks a 61-yard field goal to beat him. They easily should have won both those games. They're sitting at 2-6. To me, they should be at 4-4. And if they win this game, Miami, they go to 3-6, and then they have the Raiders on deck and the Panthers on deck. So basically, Miami wins this game. They're almost a lock to get to 5-6. And 8-9 is getting into the playoffs. So Miami truly believes they're that good, and I think they are. The Rams are coming off a very emotional division win on the road where they got really lucky to win to get to 4-4. And I think they're going to score 27, Miami. I don't think the Rams could score 30. They could. The Sharps, a lot of people I know took the Rams in this game, even though the line moved a lot. I like Miami. So those are my 5 picks. That's what I bet at Circa. Those are the 5 games I bet at Circa. At Circa, I went Saints, Broncos, Miami. Those 3. What was the other 2 I took? Colts, and I think I took the Giants. Merry Christmas. Good luck, us. There's my NFL for the week. All right, poker. We're back in that. We got our meds. We finally got our Vyvanse, so we started playing poker this week. Played the first day, was down 10,000, up 12,500, down 5,000, up 10,000, and finished with a 5,800 win. The last 2 days I've been playing really big, so I didn't play. So I plan on playing a lot more. I was trying to finish last at Circa, but then on the 4-week period, I should have stayed picking losers because I tried to lose and went 4-1. And then now I've tried to win, and I went, 5-0 last week. And 4-0, 4-1 the week before, something like that. Anyways, I'm doing good though. We have the Dodgers, world champions. My sports betting at my small amounts that I bet is I'm literally winning over 3 years. Not much, but I'm winning and I'm having fun. And I never bet more than 2K no matter what on any game. I really, 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 I really like the Saints a lot with the coaching change. This team's going to play hard. And the Falcons aren't good enough to lay 4 on the road, man. Denver, don't be surprised if Denver upsets the Chiefs. Denver's got a great defense. Like I said, if they convert those 4th and 3s last week, instead of being down 21-14 at halftime with the other team getting the ball first, they might have been up. So I watched that game, by the way. A lot of squares are betting on San Francisco, which I don't blame them. I got him in a teaser with the Giants. I don't know. I took Giants in Survivor. A lot of people like the Bears in Survivor. I think the Bears could lose to the Patriots. I think there's internal people are upset there. Don't trust them. So we're at 5,800 for the week of poker. And there's my football. Let's go back to the election. Let's go back to the fun times, the election. Hello, Brandon. How's life going over there? When are you going to come back to reality? Yeah, first of all, it's a good question. What happened to the 12 million votes that Biden had? It's a lot of votes. They still hate Trump just as much. Well, I'll tell you what happened. We know what happened. We don't need to ask. We know. All you got to look is the data. Trump got the same 75 million he got in 2020. But he did flip a lot of different voters. I mean, a lot of voting blocks went differently, which made up for the votes that Trump lost. What happened to her 81 million votes? Yeah.
Careful.
So, yeah, the world's going to be good.
Trump did say that they're going to work to end censorship like how we did censorship.
That's the first thing he's going to do.
But we're still under YouTube's rules as of right now.
I understand that. Well, YouTube will be censorship free. We'll be able to say what we want soon. Trump's going to pass a law. And Joe Biden was Trump's inside guy. Yeah, I mean, Joe Biden sure looked happy in this concession speech yesterday, didn't he? He was like flipping pancakes. Yeah, she spent $1 billion on the campaign and is $20 million in debt. That's pretty amazing. Who does the books over there? Listen, anybody with a brain, no insults to any of my Democratic friends that are watching the podcast, knows that she was unauthentic. She was phony. She was fake. She couldn't answer any questions. How could you not answer questions? Hell, 3 days before, she wouldn't even say who she voted for on the anti-crime bill in California. Yeah, Joe Biden that was pretty amazing. She walked into on election day to go vote with a red dress. You don't think that was on purpose? Pretty crazy. And then, think about that. Everybody that endorsed Trump or came to his rallies, Trump didn't give them any money. They did it for their country and the love of him. The Kamala campaign paid all these celebrities money to perform, money to show up. That last concert, she paid out like $20 million. That's pretty sad. Anyways, all right. Well, we got lots to talk about. We've been talking for 45, almost 40 minutes. Let's take some phone calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329 0480. Give us a call. Let's talk about the election. Talk about my weekend NFL. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. Who's this?
What's up, Mikey? It's Gypsy Frank, buddy. How are you?
Frankie. What a great day to be an American, huh?
Praise the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And everybody I talked to,
No joke.
you know, they put out a poll saying that 70% of Jewish Americans voted for Kamala. That's a lie. That's a lie. We got 41% of the Jewish vote. That's up 17% from 2020, and the highest amount ever. So don't let the fake news tell you
To be
differently.
completely honest with you, that's awesome. I mean, to hear that it's up, but after what they did with the Hitler thing with Trump and trivializing the Holocaust, like, I can't understand how a Jew could morally support her after that.
I'm with you, buddy. I feel the same way, but they do, and there's nothing we can say about it. And
To each their own.
just remember,
everybody listening, welcome, and be prepared for a America that is going to be ran the right way.
This,
Freedom of speech,
dude, have you seen what he's already put out? How could anybody be
Amazing.
against this? Like, even Daniel.
If you are against that, you are the problem,
Right.
and you could leave America.
Did you see what Daniel even just retweeted like 10 minutes ago about RFK, how he's going to get all the poison out of the food? How are you not for that? How are you not for making America healthy again, right? How are you not for when Trump put out, I am going to send the American military on the cartels, and we are going to disable all the drugs from coming across this border? How could you be against that? That's what strength looks like. 120,000 Americans died every year the last 3-4 years from fentanyl. How could you be against taking out the cartels and securing the border?
If anybody that's not for that, I speak for myself.
Then they're not American.
I don't represent Mike Mattisau's views. They could eat Kamala Harris's prick.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So anyway. Oh, man, I'm happy as could be.
Me too.
I pray God's hedge of protection upon Donald Trump, that they do not kill him or assassinate him in any way. I'm really
honestly
scared to death for his safety.
I bet 1,000 at 10 to 1 that they would. And I'm hoping, I want to lose that bet. But I just don't trust them.
I hope you lose like this.
I don't think they'll ever allow him to be president. I just think there's too much
Especially
corruption.
after what he just came out with, Mike. There's no way they will stand for that.
They
live in a glass house and he's throwing rocks.
Exactly. You think that when he just came out and said, I'm going to take out all the cartels, whether they like it or not, let me tell you something. The cartels are much stronger than Iran or Israel or
they
any
got
of
more
them.
money than Iran.
They got more money than anybody, and they got free access to coming across our border. They could just bring in all those rocket launchers and missiles that they have, and they could just start shooting them. They have way more money than the whole probably Iranian Revolutionary Guard does. So when
I don't know what it'll be. I know they're going to try to impeach him every chance they get, once a month, most likely.
Well, they won't be able to. We own every chamber. They can't do anything.
Oh yes, you're right. I forgot about that. That is like so God. It's just God.
I'm just hoping that we increase our majority to about at least 8 seats. You know, I'm hoping it's at least 8 seats.
In the House too, though.
What's that? I'm talking about in the House.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're still holding out hope to get the House. They have no chance of getting the House. 0. It's like 90% on Polymarket.
Since they won't be able to impeach him, I wouldn't want. I'd like to see what the odds would be of another pandemic coming along, some type of new plague or some shit.
Yeah.
They're going to do something.
Yeah,
I hope not, but anyway.
That I'm not worried about because it's just not going to work now. It's just whatever.
America finally opened their eyes, Mike. People
Yes.
felt the pressure, felt the pain
Yes.
of what it's not like to be able
They
to pay your
finally
bills in a
saw
first
what
drive-through.
we've been saying. Let me tell you something. My
Go,
greatest,
broke.
my greatest accomplishment of my life is no poker accomplishment I've ever done. It isn't about me getting off opioids. It isn't about me getting off drugs when I was younger. It isn't about me getting off sports betting. My greatest accomplishment in life is opening the eyes of the poker players and getting them all, or most of them, probably 80% of them, to vote for Trump.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
and
If you could turn Justin Bonomo, you got $5,000 for your free.
you ain't gonna turn him. He's a Jew-hating fucking pile of shit, which is fine, you know.
Yeah, it's a real strange cat. Anyway, continue.
But you know, you got to go back to 2016, where Daniel told me, "I am going to beat the shit out of you, knock you out, pour water on you, wake you up, and beat the shit out of you more." And he went from that.
Daniel told you that?
He went from there
But what?
to voting for Trump.
Oh,
And-
that is fucking awesome.
And it was all because of his hatred and his lack of awareness of truth in the world. And Daniel, I took it with a grain of salt because I knew that Daniel has a good heart. And when you get emotionally involved in a election, it's very easy to look past the truth. And once you find the truth, you can't unsee it. That's my favorite line I've
What
said.
year did Daniel say that?
That was 2016.
Did he still have the blonde highlights?
I don't know, probably.
All right. If he did, I wouldn't have took that. press very
Listen,
seriously.
Daniel is one of my
I'm just
close.
kidding.
Daniel's one of my closest friends. I respect him as a poker player. I respect him as a man. I respect him as
He's
a
a very
human.
intelligent individual.
He is one of the smartest people you'll ever meet. And smart people, once they get outside their echo chamber, just like he tweeted 2 weeks ago, "I feel sorry for you if you're stuck in your echo chamber bubble. I actually have empathy for you." Okay? Well, when you have to understand, when like he was stuck in that and he's not just talking about right wing, okay, or left wing. He's talking about both sides. And if you're stuck in a right wing bubble, I feel sorry for you too. You know?
I agree 100%. If you're an extremist on either side, you have issues.
Right. Now look, talk about extremists. You have Bonomo on the left, and you got Dan Blitzerian on the right. They both despise Israel and want all Jews to die.
I don't understand where Dan Bilzerian's hate for Jews comes from, and he's right-winging.
The far right hates Israel. The far right hates Israel as
I
much
did
as
not
the
know
left.
that.
Yes, and they're all voting for Trump, pro-Trump, pro-Trump. Let me tell you something with Trump. You think what the left allowed Netanyahu to do was a lot? Wait till what Trump allows him to do. There won't be
Absolutely.
any.
There's never been a president that supported Israel as much as Trump has.
And I talked to Elie Elezra today. I said, "Is Trump good or bad for Israel?" He says the best. Okay, which is how I always feel.
Absolutely.
I mean, Hamas, the day after Trump won, was calling for an end of the war. They want to negotiate now. Now they want to release the hostages. Let me tell you something.
100%.
If them hostages,
They had zero fear of the leadership of Joe Biden.
if them hostages ain't back by the time Trump's in office, he's sending the U.S. military right on with the IDF, and they're going to go in there and fetch out the U.S. hostages. What do we have, 8 U.S. people still there?
Isn't it funny, Mike, how Hamas wants to talk now and they're dropping the charges against Trump? And
Oh, yeah,
everything
all
now?
the charges are now dropped. Of course the charges are dropped because they were never real.
I thought he was a felon 34 times. I thought
Yeah.
he was an insurrectionist.
Yeah,
and a
you know why
dictator
Judge
and all of this. Why
Erdogan?
do y'all want to stop?
You know why Judge Erdogan is dropping the case? Because he knows Trump's going to put that motherfucker in jail if he doesn't.
100% run and hide, motherfuckers.
Exactly. What they did to Trump was probably one of the worst lawfares, worst things. And think about it, it got me to want to vote for Trump. I was all in for him. All in for Trump after they did what they did to him. I had made up my mind.
I agree.
I had made up my mind. Fuck you, you lawfaring motherfucker. $454 million because you thought Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million? Are you out of your fucking mind? $183 million to some woman he never met in his life that he took a picture with 38 years ago that was tweeting that she can't wait to watch The Apprentice with her friends. It's her favorite show. And she fantasizes about rape. And she accused like 20 other people of rape. And they give me a break.
Ridiculous. They tried bankrupting him. They tried jailing him. They tried killing him.
Exactly.
Doesn't work. Thank God.
Exactly, buddy.
Just truly amazing, for real. I haven't been this happy in a very long time. Not because I'm a extreme Donald Trump fan, because I'm extremely patriotic and I love the country I live in and I love my fellow brother and sister in America and I want us to thrive and excel.
Me too. And trust me when I tell you, well, you know this, that this now he's got the people behind him that actually fucking care about this country. He doesn't have the scumbags. No, the scumbags are done. You know what I'm saying? We got Elon, we got Tulsi, we got RFK, we have Vivek, we have Joe Rogan. What do we need?
And this is what's amazing about those people, Mike, is because they had opposing views. I don't, sir. Sorry. They had opposing views, but they were willing to, look at the other side and look at the big picture and reevaluate how they lean. These other people, like extreme left, extreme right, like you could show them it in black and white factual evidence, and there's literally nothing that would make them change their mind. They will go down with the ship.
Yeah.
Makes me sick. It's crazy. I mean, what other explanation for that other than is they're delusional?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's it, I the last thing I tweeted out, and I reposted them, and I think everybody should read it. It's like I think it's an hour and 20 minutes long. Let me see. Where is it? Hold on. Let me double check. Yeah, it's an hour. Where is it? Okay. Did I retweet it or did I thought I reposted it? I thought I reposted it. Did it not go through?
What is it?
It just I wrote it to my Democratic friends. Maybe it didn't. I guess I didn't repost it. I'll have to fucking find it again. But it basically is an hour and 30 minutes, and it shows why Trump won. And it explains what you've been lied to. It says, "Dear Democrat friends, this is why Trump won. Watch it with an open mind." And it shows all the lies, all the hoaxes, from the Very Fine People hoax to the Liz Cheney hoax at the end. Like every single solitary lie and hoax. The Russia hoax for 3 years.
Did you see the chicks on The View? Like one was trying to realize and understand why they lost, and then they just blame it on misogyny and racism.
It's just insane.
They won the popular vote. The last president of the Republican Party was Ronald Reagan, if I'm not mistaken, to win the popular vote. So 75% of America are racist and misogynists, are basically what they're saying.
Okay, here it is. To all my Democratic friends should watch this to understand why Trump won so easily. It's eye-opening. Here, I'll repost it. But it basically says, I've been dreading telling my friends and family that I'll be voting for Trump in this coming election. There was no way for me to explain it to them without them being horrified. So I made this video which tries to explain how liberals like me have ended up here. And it basically shows how people on the left that were able to see with an open mind how corrupt and dishonest the Democrats have become. And so, again, this country needs two healthy political parties. So I want
exactly.
It's easy for me.
We don't need blind allegiance.
A far right person would say, hey, let them keep doing what they're doing. We'll just win every election. But that's not good. You don't want
absolutely not.
You don't want half the fucking country disagreeing with you. You want to unite the country. So how do you unite the country? You come up with policy that makes people's lives better. You'll always have the 35% leftists and 30% leftist, 30% right, far right, that are always going to be dug all in, right? But then there's I've said it before, then there's a 20% on each side where you have to show them the poison and the fruit. The poison and the fruit. And on the right, for the last 8 years, I've been showing the fruit, the fruit, the fruit, the fruit, the fruit, the fruit, the fruit. And the poison was the woke ideology, the woke mind virus. The woke mind virus, as Elon Musk would say. The woke mind virus stole my son. You heard what he said. And it did. Did you see
Trump's
I had
no idea he had an estranged son.
Well, he had a son that's now a woman that's been that transitioned. And he had to sign papers for her to transition because they said she was going to commit suicide if he didn't. That's always their excuse. So that's what made Elon go all in against, that and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and them attacking him left and right.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't one exact single thing.
And the truth of the matter is I've said it since 2018. There's one thing I know we can conquer on the right, and that is transitioning kids 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. You know, if you're 18 years old, you want to transition, more power to you.
You're an adult, do what you want.
Do what you want. You know, this gay person I followed, I retweeted. It's a very good post they put up. And it said, let me show it to you. Where is it? But
actually, Mike, I don't mean to cut you short, but I got to take
all right, I got to take some other calls. Take care, man.
Take care,
Life
brother.
is good. Take care. Peace.
You too, buddy. Bye.
What's going on?
What up? It's a good. The world is good, my friend.
Oh, it's a great day. I love the hat.
That's it. Yeah, you guys like my America hat? Thanks. Yeah.
Love it. You know, this day and age, you never know who's going to like it or not.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
I guess the first one is, if Elon don't buy Twitter, what's the result in your opinion?
If Elon don't buy Twitter, we're dead.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for. You listen to the podcast all the time since the day he bought Twitter. You heard what I said. Elon Musk will go down in history like Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves, as the man who saved the republic from socialist, wokist, fucking World Economic Forum globalist takeover. And that's it. I believed it when I said it. I believe it now, and That's it.
I just think it's funny that they are so mad that he opened up free speech and opened up the censoring.
Well,
and
how
liberals
about
are mad about
look
that.
what Trump put out today. Executive order on all social media sites. If they censor any free speech, or it's been found that any government, CIA, FBI, involves in any censoring of free speech, there will be a severe penalty. Executive order on day one.
I love it.
Once Trump is in office, I'll be able to say whatever I want on this podcast, and YouTube won't be able to censor me or take me down.
That's insane. Okay, so next question. I'm sure you've seen the viral graph, and not to beat a dead horse, the viral graph that has gone all over social media, Twitter, everything, of the 2020 votes.
Of course.
I'm curious how, for one, what happens, what are your thoughts on that? And two, how would they get away with that? Are we going to hold somebody accountable with that when Trump gets in office?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because if you look at the amount of votes, Trump's going to end up with the same amount of votes that he got in 2020, maybe a little bit more.
Yep.
Okay. And they're going to end up with around 70 million, 69.5, 70 million. He's going to win by about 5.5 million votes. And listen, they keep saying, well, they didn't turn out. They did turn out. This is the most people to ever vote for president, for the Democrats, more than Obama, not counting 2020.
Right.
But 2020, the machines got shut off for 3 hours.
Yeah, at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m. And then we know what happened from there.
Does anybody know what? Because I was following live odds, and there was never a sweat. Like, it started at like minus 150, and then it just kept soaring up. And the more and more it soared up, I loved it. But what does anybody know what his peak odds were in the 2020 election, like late at night?
He was 87% at like 10-15.
Oh my God, that's unreal. I mean, that tells you everything you know.
Where's all the mail-in ballots that they used last time? How was Pennsylvania over in one day, but it took him 3 days, and he got 99% of the vote on day late at night and in the day too?
Well, in Florida, counted all their votes in a couple hours, didn't they? Millions.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
That was a bloodbath.
How about California?
That was a bloodbath.
California, they're still counting.
Yeah. Of course they are.
Because they're good. I mean, I don't know. I don't trust them. They might try and steal the house. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
well, it's an exciting time. I feel like it's big weight has been lifted off our shoulders, and of course, I love the libs of TikTok, Twitter. It's the best page on the internet.
Oh, it is. She's the best. I'd like to meet her. She's the best. She's the best. You know?
So
listen, it was 4 years of hell, but we dealt with it, and we were fine. And this time, Trump's not going in with a blind eye and just trusting everybody he meets. This time, he's going to drain the swamp. That I can guarantee you. I mean, this time, with full power for 2 years, with full fucking power, we're not going to pass no fucking tax cut and that's it. Trump's going wall, take out the cartels, securing free speech for life. Hopefully he gets it where a federal election where they use paper ballots and a national holiday. That'd be nice. What else is he? I mean, everything he's going to do. I hope he does not deport all illegal aliens. I don't think he's going to. I think he's only deporting the criminals, the 500,000 criminals.
I agree.
I don't think it'll just sound too inhumane, and I don't think he means that. You know, but he has the mothers of all those people who were killed by illegal immigrants, and he wants to know that they didn't die in vain. You see what I'm saying? So he wants to secure everything, you know. But you know, listen, I'm not the type of person that truly believes that, you know, I'm not the type of person that thinks that we should deport 20 million illegal, because we have a worker shortage as it is in the country, you know. So I don't think he's going to do that. I really don't.
Yeah.
Will it be the largest deportation in history at 500,000 people? Sure, that will be the largest deportation in history. You know. Will he release the January 6th prisoners on day one? Fuck yes, he will. Unless they were violent. All those people that walked into the Capitol and that were escorted in by the police will all be released. The Proud Boys and those people that weren't even around the Capitol will all be released. Everybody that wasn't violent will be released. If you were violent, and they have proof that you were violent, he even said, "I'm not letting any violent J6ers out." The political the political persecution of the political opponents are coming to an end. The lawfare that they pulled, they purposely jailed Trump, 19 indictments, so they could get the base to come out and vote for him across the board in the primaries. That was their goal. It was all political. They got him to vote in the primaries, and they thought, we can't lose this idiot. We'll just throw he bragged about ending Roe v. Wade. We'll just throw abortion, and we'll just throw J6, a threat to democracy, and we're going to win. But everybody saw past it, because anybody with half a brain knows there was no insurrection on January 6th, that there was 1 million people at that rally, and about 50 of them were bad actors. That's an insurrection to them. Pretty crazy, man.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed the. I mean, there was so many different polls too, and there was the one guy. I think his YouTube is like Depressed Ginger or whatever. He was spot on 312 electorals, and he did a post-election video. I'll DM it to you on Twitter or something. It's 18 minutes. It's really good. He just said all the counties and all the polls and all the media that says here where they were wrong. They were plus Kamala here, plus Kamala here, plus Kamala here, and it was just complete eyewash.
But the thing is
he was spot on.
A lot of people are attacking Nate Silver. I'm going to defend him because he's a poker player and he's a nice guy. But he still had Trump winning every single swing state by like 0.3%, 0.5%. And if you take the undercover Trump vote of 2016, the undercover Trump vote of 2020, which was 3.5 to 4 points, that's what Trump won everything by, 3.5 to 4 points. All you had to do is take that in consideration. That's it.
So they're all over Silver because he underestimated it? I mean, what do you mean they're all over him? Before the election they were?
Well, no, after the election they're like, you should close your polling station out. You're worthless. You're way off. He had the election as even, okay, with Trump winning like every swing state by like 0.02 to 0.05. But there's also a 3 percentage point. They tell you when they poll it's within 3 points the margin of error. So like he wasn't off. I mean, he was right on. If anything, he even said my gut feeling is Trump's going to win before the thing. Anyways,
there was a guy that was 9 out of 10 in the last elections on CNN that picked Harris. And so
I'll tell you what, I should have bet a $5,000 parlay that he was going to win all the swing states, or at least 1,000.
Doug Polk did somebody take that bet that he put out? Did he win? He took Trump, didn't he? Doug Polk?
Yeah, we were all on this election show. We were doing everybody, all the big names in poker were on Trump. We're betting Trump.
Okay.
And voted for Trump. And it was listen, it was good to I don't want I'm not an egotistical person, you know. But I know that my influence changed the most important poker players' minds. And somebody that 3 years ago was called down a rabbit hole and too far gone mentally, and I'm down some right-wing rabbit hole, to everything I said becoming fact or truth.
Yep.
And every conspiracy that they accused me of, every conspiracy came true. Like Brett Ritchie says, aren't you tired of being right, Mike? And that's our little inside joke. But you know what? It feels good. You know, it feels good that I can use my platform, my voice, to educate people. You know, and there's a lot of people like, so much shit. I get so much fucking political shit on my feed, my Twitter feed. Well, I don't want to admit that it's because of me and you're following me. And I'm the one liking.
Who cares? That stuff's important. That stuff's still important. Like, people post food. Who gives a fuck what you're eating?
Yeah.
Like, the political stuff's important. If you don't like it, then mute it. But, yeah. No, I could probably guess the poker players who thought you were conspiracy theorists. The Daniels, the Prolots, the Chris Brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, Chris Brewers.
Did Daniel vote for Trump? Or he's close, right?
I don't.
You're probably not allowed to say. Don't say. You don't need to say it.
I'll let you decide.
But I'll put. I did like his post. What
there you go. You don't need. All you have to do is look at his post, and you know who he voted for.
Yeah, it's a great post. But
so like, you know, it's very true. He was like Trump going on the podcast, going to McDonald's, the garbage man. They could say what they want. They could troll him all they want. That was genuine. That was like. That connects with working class people. She did nothing to connect with working class people. She couldn't do anything. She did her rallies, but she didn't go and meet people. She didn't go shake hands with people. Trump would go into the stands and shake hands with everybody.
Yeah. I come from the middle class. I come from the middle class.
That was her answer for everything, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, here's the bottom line. Okay, and we're going to go to the next caller after this, but
yeah, you bet.
This was a absolute thrashing of Reagan performance in 1988. Okay.
Yep.
In his re-election bid. Okay, we won everything, and that instead of blaming people, go out and see the country, see what people want. Get rid of the woke. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bud. See
Have a good weekend. 702-329-0480. Yeah, Russia's happy because the war is going to end. What's up?
Hello?
Welcome to the Mouthpiece.
How's it going, Mikey?
Turn down your radio. What's going on? Your volume, I mean.
I got it. You know, I am glad, Mikey, we are unburdened by what has been.
We are unburdened by what has been. Yes.
Exactly.
I love it.
And, yeah, I know, it was great. I just, I'm not going to stay on here very long because I know you got some other people to get to, but
okay.
I just want to know what you think about Mark Cuban's little comment about Trump not liking strong, independent women.
Yeah, meanwhile, he's just hired the first chief of staff woman in history.
Susie Wiles.
Yeah, she's really good. I mean, I didn't know she's been with him since 22 for 2 years, and I didn't even know who she was, but she somehow, some way, kept Trump on message. And you remember in August, I was going crazy how the messaging on one side was so much better than our messaging. Yeah. And then the month of October, she kept him on message. I listened to all the rallies. He stayed on message at every rally. He would go off the prompter for a little bit to make people laugh, but he stayed on message. And the message was, it's the economy, stupid. That's it. Economy, immigration, crime. Economy, immigration, crime. That's what we ran on. They ran on abortion, Trump's Hitler. Abortion, Trump's Hitler. Think about that. What kind of a message is
she's
that?
absolutely awesome. She's been in politics for a long time, back to Reagan.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know who she was. But she did an amazing job. And she even said when Trump hired her as chief of staff, there will be no clowns allowed in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
This will be a completely different presidency. First of all, Trump's entire demeanor is completely different than before he got shot at. I can tell you that right now. I followed the guy for 8 years. He's completely different. He really believed, and I believed it too, that he survived because he was chosen to save the country and the world from World War III. And I believe it.
Absolutely.
I believe it. If he didn't turn his head 1/4 of a second before that shot went off, he'd be dead. And
exactly.
They said he was 99.8% to have been killed. And he survived. And I think it made him have more belief in God. I think he really realized that whether it's true or not, he believed he was put on this earth for a higher purpose. In 2016, he believed that he wanted to be president so he could be because he wanted to be. He didn't have a clue what he was doing. But he's got a team behind him of patriots, of good people. RFK with the health, he's going to get this garbage out of our food. Like, why does Fruit Loops in Europe have like 2 or 3 different like dyes in it, and in the United States have 17 different chemicals in it?
Yep.
He's right.
No, I agree. I mean, it's just like, back when my grandfather was alive, my dad was alive, they lived a lot longer because there wasn't all that crap in the food. It was all cooked, more or less fresh. I mean, all the stuff that was there, and there was no preservatives in it and stuff like that. So
I tell you what, I've never been so sure of something in my life that the next 2 years, what Trump accomplishes in the next 2 years, he will accomplish more in the next 2 years than any other president in history. And if he's able to take out the cartels, he will win the midterms in the biggest landslide you've ever seen.
Yep. And I was looking at the House map too. It looks like we're in pretty good shape to take the House. So
that's why this would be amazing. Like if we win the Nevada and Arizona Senate and get to 55, I mean, you're talking about Sherrod Brown, the guy running for Senate in Nevada, was 10-1 dog to win, 10-1.
Yeah.
Kerry Lake was 6-1 dog.
Yeah.
So, listen, man, people had enough.
The only trouble is we couldn't get rid of that goddamn Adam Schiff.
Well, look at all this. Look at all. There's like 7 states of our. What do we have? 50 states. So 43 states voted for Trump. 42 to 8, and out of the 8 that voted for her, 7 of them have no voter ID law.
Yep.
They are all. If I'm telling you, California and Nevada, and New York and California had voter ID. I'm telling you, they would go for Trump.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. That's what's got to change. That's one of the first things you have to do besides freeing the January Sixers.
But you can't make a federal. You can't. They're state-run elections. You can't force a state to have voter ID as in the federal. You could make a national holiday and paper ballots. You could force, but you can't force states to have voter ID.
I think that can change. I'm pretty sure I haven't done all the research on it yet. But if it's a federal election, they have, the federal government has a right to go in and dictate how a federal election.
Not really. That's why we have the Electoral College. Okay.
Well,
you can't have a federal election. We are a union of states. We are a republic of states. We're not a country. We're not one big country. So you can't have a federal law. So, anyways, thanks for calling. And
Bye, Mikey. Good
God
talking
bless
to you.
you. Have a great weekend.
You too. See you, buddy. Bye.
All right, we need more callers.
No more?
No more right now.
Oh, good. All right. Well, this has been a great podcast. We've been on for almost an hour and a half, right?
An hour and 10 minutes.
It feels longer because we've been gloating. We've been gloating all podcasts. 702-329-0480. Anybody else want to call and gloat? Or anybody want to call and cry?
Yeah, have John Garza call in. He's saying that the assassination attempt was staged.
Well, I don't want to talk. John and me are good friends. I'll just leave it at that. John's got to stop getting his news from MSNBC. If he stops doing that, he'll wake up to what's really going on. So, weak men and angry women. That's what they are. I agree. We're going to bring strength back to the country. You know? Let's take another call. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike.
What up?
Man, you got some unbelievable callers tonight, man.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I mean, really. Hey, well, there's a lot of things I want to say, but I start off with this thing about, the no tax on tips. No tax on.
I think he's gonna. I think you called about this about a month ago, right? We were talking about this.
Yeah.
I remember.
But I watched the Joe Rogan thing, and he slid in there. See, Trump talks this tariff stuff, and I've studied
he only uses tariffs as a negotiating tactic. He doesn't.
Yeah, right.
People think he's just like putting tariffs on everything, which will make the price of everything higher. No, he's threatening them, and he uses negotiated tactics. Go ahead.
But the point I wanted to make is Joe Rogan kind of presented to him. He says, "You have something in your mind that there's a possibility you might get rid of the federal income tax."
Yeah.
And then I follow this guy Barry Cunningham, black dude from I think he's from Boca Raton down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry said on his podcast, he says, look, he says, I'm gonna go out on a line here, but I believe Trump's going to get rid of the federal income tax.
I mean, that'd be good, man.
And I think, and one of the reasons is, this is my take on it. Tips is a direct tax. Overtime is a direct tax. Social Security is a direct tax.
Yeah, and he wants
now,
to
you can't get rid of those without getting wages, because wages is a direct tax. You got to get rid of the whole thing, the whole fucking thing, man.
Yeah,
that's what I think he has in line.
I think he does have. He wants to transform America for the better, and
you can't be free. My neighbor. I'm up here in Mesquite. Okay,
right.
My neighbor down the street's from Moscow, Russia.
Right.
And he told me, he said, look, when I was in Moscow, they grabbed 55% out of my pocket.
Right. That's about right.
And this country does the same thing. They just reach in your pocket and think they can grab it. And what they do is they don't want to follow the Constitution, where representatives and direct taxes have to be apportioned. They play this little 1040 game, and once we sign that little 1040 form, we waive all our constitutional rights.
I agree. And you know what? Trump said, if you remember the 2016, he said the tax code is broken. He said, and all of you and your donors, you all cheat the tax code, and I do too. He goes, we all do. He goes, but only I could fix it. Maybe he will be able to fix it. You know what I'm saying?
He's already made the claim. I know what he's going. I know what he's doing. I've read everything there is out there on there, And I think he finally knows. He finally knows in his mind. He knows the code better than anybody.
By anybody.
He knows it's bullshit.
He knows it's all fucking that him, and he even admits it. He goes, me, all my rich friends, all your donors, we cheat the tax code. He goes, and you know why? You don't want me in office because you know I'm the only one that can fix it because I know how corrupt it is. It's all rigged against the poor people. Remember when he came up on the debate and said that? He says it's all rigged. He goes, yeah, I don't pay my taxes because I'm smart, right? Like, and the whole think about that. Who's going to if you're a corrupt person, like if you're everything the left makes him out to be, well, he would never say that. They're scared of him because he will get rid of it. He will fix the tax code. He will make the tax code fair for fucking.
Yeah, and you know the lady that he just hired as chief of staff.
Yeah.
I forgot Wiles.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know. I just heard that that's Pat Summerall's daughter.
That's Pat Summerall's daughter. Yeah, I just found that out today too.
Man, I went that, you know, and I love Pat Summerall. I said, man, I want that brought in there, man.
Absolutely. I mean, look how nobody has been able to control Trump, and look how good she kept him on message for the last 2 years. I mean, I thought he was going to blow it. In August, if you were listening to the podcast, I was going crazy. I'm like, he's going to blow it. He's going to blow it. He's going to blow it. He can't shut up.
Except for when he said, I hate Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, and then I watched his daughter-in-law Laura, and they know everything he said. You know, everything he said. He says promises made, promises keep. And I believe that.
Have you downloaded on Twitter the documentary? It's an 8-part. I'm on part 4 right now. It's an 8-part documentary. It's called. Let me just tell you exactly what it's called because I've been The Art of the Surge. Check it out. So it's an awesome documentary. It's at 30 minutes each part. It's called The Art of the Surge. And it's backstage. It records Trump backstage at all his rallies, before the debates, after the debates, during the DNC, and he's tweeting in live time. He does all his own tweets, which we already knew that anyways because of some of the shit that comes out. Right? And you know, I'm only on number 3, but it's like all six episodes are available right now. It's called The Art of the Surge, the biggest comeback in political history, and it's really good. Like watching Trump backstage and going through what he's thinking in real time is pretty awesome to watch. So I only looked at the first 2 episodes. I'm going to finish the rest of them probably tonight. So pretty good. I like it.
Hey, Mike, can I don't know. I don't usually. I know you're a celebrity and all that, but I was going to ask you to watch something on YouTube.
Sure.
And it's called Revocation of Election by Weiss and Associates.
Right.
It's about a 40-minute video.
Write that down, Danny.
Okay, and then the other thing is, I wanted to. I've been always wanting to ask you, how come these podcasts? I only know two, and it's you and this other guy, and they're the only guys that sit down and take calls. All the other, PD, Patrick Bet-David, Shapiro, none of them will take calls. They always want to interview another multi-millionaire or a billionaire.
Well, I used to have guests all the time, but I really enjoyed the format of talking to the people and hearing both sides of the political spectrum, both sides of the poker, the GTO side, the field side. I want to hear what people have to say. I mean, I am a very open person that likes to hear, both sides of the equation. I'm very easily could disagree, and we agree on a lot. And I know you have you have multi-millionaire poker players sometimes on there, but I mean, you let the little guy chime in on your show, and these other guys they don't. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I did notice though, right before the election, a lot of very famous people were having big spaces and they were letting, if you clicked on the microphone, they would call on a lot of people, which is kind of like me taking phone calls. I thought it was really good. A couple of people I follow, and they have a lot of right-wing and left-wing followers, and it was great to hear them chime in on the spaces and listen to the people that are on the left. Trump's a felon and this, and they would repeat all these talking points, right? And it's like, but the truth of the matter is Trump will no longer be a felon within the next 2 weeks because Judge Irwin, they're going to drop everything because they have to, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Letitia James, did you see her the day after the election? She's like, this is not the outcome we wanted, but we're not backing down. And then Trump's attorney, Mike Davis, says, you either quit the lawfare against Trump or we're going to throw your fat ass in jail. That's what his attorney said to Letitia James. It was funny.
Oh, yeah.
It was always lawfare, dude. It was always political. Now, just like Biden yesterday, if Trump was really a threat to democracy and Hitler and the end of the world, do you think you would have saw that press conference by Biden yesterday? Or by Kamala?
No.
No. They would have kept saying the same thing. Well, they said, we're unhappy with the election, but we're still very worried for the country. No, they're trying to play kumbaya, and we're going to have a perfect transfer of power like we've always had. And they're trying to take the upside, trying to make it look like Trump didn't concede power, but we will, and we're going to show we're a better party than they are, right?
They'll never regain control again until they pivot off their superstardom and start addressing the middle class.
Until they start addressing the poor white people, the poor Latino. Look at the Latinos going for Trump. Do you know that in Obama took the Latino vote by like 86% 10 years ago? I mean,
I'll tell crazy. You, I'm up here in Mesquite, and we got a pretty good sized Latino community.
Yeah.
And hey, they were all Trump up here.
Listen, all you had to do was look around and the feel. If you listen to the podcast, what have I been saying for the last 3 weeks? Read the room, poker players. I was tweeting out. Read the room. It's obvious. One side is on immigration, crime, border, immigration, inflation, border, and the other side's messaging was, he's Hitler. He wants political vendettas. Don't vote. If you vote for him, he's going to want political vendettas. He's this, he's that. He's this, he's that. Abortion, 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 abortion. If I hear the word abortion one more fucking time, I'm going to rip somebody's fucking head off. You know what I mean? I can't. Can you imagine running on killing babies and hating Trump? That was their fucking message. Oh, and a joyful and an opportunity economy. What are you going to do? You didn't do anything for 4 years. What are you going to do? And you know what she went wrong? She should have completely distanced herself from Biden right away. She should have said, when they asked her, would you have done anything different than Joe Biden? Not that I could think of. When she said that on The View. That was the end of her candidacy. She should have said, yeah, I would have done a lot different. I would have secured the fucking border. I would have done X, Y, Z, and Z, and I'm going to do that as president. And you show strength. Instead, she showed weakness because she didn't want to hurt his feelings. And that's how you end up with a landslide.
Yeah, I was a little nervous at the beginning of the thing because of that seltzer thing over in Iowa.
I wasn't. I knew. Listen, like if you follow David Sachs, he says, don't listen to the poll. It's a fake poll. They're trying to get you to not go out and vote. Go out and vote, 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 vote. The polls are... Yeah. And he was right.
And then that Atlas Intel had all the swing states, all 7 of them.
I should have parlayed them all.
He said Trump's going to win.
I should have parlayed them all, man. A 17 parlay would have paid me fucking like 8-1. So stupid. So dumb. I knew it, man. I knew it. When they were out fucking desperate. I mean, you had to see it. You saw it, right? You saw the tone. They went from joy and lifting everybody up to Trump's a monster, abortion. Trump's a monster, abortion. You saw it, right? You don't.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that's fucking with a brain saw it.
You talk. See, I grew up in San Francisco. I'm like, I was baptized in the Episcopal Church. My dad's a Mormon. My mom's Catholic, but they baptized me in the Episcopal Church. The bishop that baptized me is the father of California liberalism, James Pike, and I was baptized by that guy.
Nice.
And he was all with the stars in California, big liberal. I couldn't function as a kid. I couldn't function in the church, and I had to leave. I couldn't handle it as a kid, and I've been conservative ever since I was like 10 years old. I couldn't handle that bullshit.
Yeah.
And then Father Pike or Bishop Pike ended up. They think he committed suicide in the Israel desert. And he had all these seances, but he was all in cahoots in the early 50s and 60s with all the stars in San Francisco. And I just happened to get baptized by the guy, and and I've been back, San Francisco is my home, but I go back there. It's totally fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Totally fucked up. And there's no way, I'd rather, I'm up here in Mesquite and I'm going to stay up here. I
had a friend direct DM me on Twitter the day of the election at around noon. I just happened to see it, and he says, I'm up here living in Portland, and I've seen more fucking Trump signs than I've ever seen in my life in Portland. So I just listen. I never was so sure of something. Once they didn't kill him. I mean, they tried to kill him twice, just like I said they were going to try and do. I'm
afraid they're going to try to, do him again.
They are. Trust me, they are. If J.D. Vance gets in office, he's very inexperienced. He'll start listening. I think I'm very, very worried for Trump. He should watch everything he fucking eats.
Oh yeah, what he eats. Don't get out in that fucking, just fucking play it safe, man. You know what I mean?
I'm very from here
his
to
whole family, every one of his family too. Same deal with that.
From here to the fucking election till the inauguration, I'm very worried, but we'll see, man. All right, man. Thanks for calling.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Take care. Thanks a lot.
Take
care.
Take care.
We do have another one.
All right, let's get another call. Wow. I mean, this is a political earthquake for the country and for the Democrats. All right. No answer. That's all good. We got another one? What up?
Hey, Mike.
What would it be?
What up?
Welcome to Mouthpiece. What are you up to?
Hey, I just wanted to add on a few of the previous points that the other great callers have made.
Yep.
Well, first of all, this election was not fair to begin with, and Trump still won. He was up against the mainstream media. He was up against Google, YouTube, Reddit, all of that. And he was up against the courts, and he demolished all of them.
All of them. 89% negative coverage, mainstream media. That's CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC. 89% negative coverage, and what was it, 6% positive coverage? Some ridiculous. But guess what? The mainstream media doesn't exist anymore. We are the media. The podcasts are the media. The people,
Exactly.
the Joe Rogans of the world, the Elon Musk of the world, those podcasts that Trump went on, that Barron got him on, that have like 10 million followers. Dude, he got him the youth vote. The youth vote went for Trump. It went 24 points for fucking Biden 4 years ago.
Well, Barron Trump played a big part in that. He's the one
Huge
that told. He told Donald to go on all those bro podcasts, and it worked out tremendously.
He got the youth vote. How's that? I've never heard of a Republican getting the youth vote. Like,
well,
I just still don't even believe it.
A big part of that is the youth are very savvy to the fact that the mainstream media lies, and
Correct.
they don't stop lying, and that's why they watch Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and Jimmy Dore and all the other,
Correct.
real people that report real news.
So, like I said earlier, we need two healthy parties. You can't have, you can't have like California one party rule, and you can't have the Republicans winning every election either. Okay,
it would be great if we had more than two parties.
Correct, but if we're not going to. But so, just because we have two parties, we need two healthy parties. That means instead of screaming the same thing over and over, racism, misogyny, start fucking realizing where the country is. Nobody wants transgenderism for people under the age of 18. Nobody wants public schools saying if my son wants to become a girl, that the teachers are not allowed to tell their parents. Nobody wants woke ideology. Everybody wants comedians back. Like, I'm going to the comedy shop tonight at 12:30, right? And it's funny as fuck. They talk dirty as shit. They make fun of Jews, Hispanics, blacks. We make fun of everybody because that's what the world is the comedies to make you laugh. And the woke ideology is worried about who gets offended and safe spaces and all that bullshit.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, all the mainstream media is, they constantly make us feel bad and tell us we're bad and what we're doing wrong, and we want to feel good. And that's why we turn off cable news now, because we just want to feel good. And they're just telling us we're bad and everything we do is bad and that everything needs to change, and we're not having any of it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm looking forward to the 3:15 a.m. tweet when Trump's sitting on the shitter and fucking making something funny at 3:15 a.m. Because I'm not going to lie, I looked forward to his because he would talk so crazy shit that would just make you laugh, And people need to laugh. It's important to wake up in the morning, turn on a program, and start laughing. Because how could your day be good if you can't start it off by laughing, right?
Yeah, that's why half the news podcasters are comedians. I mean, a lot of them started out as comedians, like Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore, and then things just got so fucked that they started, talking about the news.
If you go, there's this gay lesbian girl that I follow, and I reposted or I put it in the replies, and she talks about in 2015 we got gay marriage, and that's all we wanted. We just want to be left alone. We just want to be LGBT, or not LGB. She said.
Yeah.
We don't want to be T, but we'll deal with T. That's fine. But we don't want to be all these other stupid ass genders, and we don't want to be told that we don't want third graders wanting to accept being gay or not. We don't want that. It's like when you brought the children into it, it became a problem, and that's I accept. I mean, it's like it's a lifestyle that they're pushing on fucking. Like even Daniel said, the straight white man has been ostracized.
Well, not only are they pushing that on the kids, but you guys were talking about all the garbage in our foods and all the chemicals in our foods, and that has something to do with it as well.
Of course. Now, big Trump, RFK tweeted out today that he's going to get Trump to sign an executive order that Big Pharma will not be allowed to advertise on TV. You know how big that will be? Do you know we're only one of 2 countries that allows Big Pharma to advertise on TV?
Yeah, and the other one's New Zealand, and they have a lot more restrictions than we do.
Correct. If Trump gets that done, his presidency will be better than any presidency in history. I mean, the fact that this country is hooked on medication for everything, you know, everybody's on antidepressants. Everybody's on antidepressants because they're not told to go outside to eat good. Like I've been eating good now for like 2 months, right? Eat good, exercise, go outside, and you won't be fucking depressed. Like I tell my friends all the time that are depressed, they call me up. I said, go outside, put a blanket on your front fucking lawn, look up at the sun, put on your sunglasses, and enjoy, and just breathe in and breathe out. You'll enjoy the world. People are depressed because they got everybody from COVID stuck in their house behind and they're sitting there. They never leave the house. They're on their fucking computer. When you go out to a fucking bar, you go out to meet people, you can't even introduce yourself to people because everybody's on their fucking phones. You walk into a bar, 90% of the people are on their fucking phones. They're not interacting with anybody. It's sick.
It's all one big antisocial agenda, you know, meant to break down the society, and it's
a CIA op. This is what the CIA does to fucking people.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking, I swear to you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, it ain't about Trump. It's about what Trump represents. And what he represents is America. He represents bringing America back, bringing healthy foods back, getting rid of Big Pharma. Like the liberals were always anti-Big Pharma, anti-fucking war, pro-free speech. Now they're brainwashed by MSNBC and CNN and fucking other left-wing bullshit saying, oh, Big Pharma good, war good, anti-free, we can't let them have free speech. It's disinformation. There's no such thing as disinformation. Anything you say is free. It's your God-given right as a person of the United States to tell me anything you want. You want to call me every name on this, and that's your right. I can just hang up. If you want to say whatever you want on Twitter, that's your right. If you don't want to follow that person, unfollow that person. You know, but when
a lot of people say, you know, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me.
Exactly.
Their ideals from 3-4 decades ago are completely opposite from what they are now.
Buddy, I could name 4 poker players on the top of my mind that were so far left in 2016 that now voted for Trump that they didn't decide to vote for Trump because all of a sudden he was a good guy. They voted for Trump because the Democrats went off a cliff.
Right. I got an idea of which ones they are, too, but you don't have to say
But I'm just saying they went off a cliff. Okay? It's probably around 10 poker players, but I mean, a lot of prominent ones. But probably more than 10. But maybe if you take the top 50 poker players in the world, I'll guarantee you 40 of them voted for Trump, if not 45. You know?
Right.
But probably 40. But I'm just saying, like, that's because they were showing the truth. No, they don't. And listen, it's like the lady on CNN said, who's Democrat. We've got to become the party of common sense. What has Trump been saying at every rally? We are the party of common sense. It's nothing to do with that.
Anyone with half a brain looked at, 2017 to 2020 and compared it to 2021 to now and said which one was better. And, it's the obvious choice. And you said this with one of your previous guests. When Kamala was asked, what will you do differently than Joe Biden? And she said, nothing comes to mind.
That was the absolute...
The Bovada odds switched that day.
That was the worst answer of all her fucking insane word salads. Like, can you? It was so weak. Like, a strong candidate would say, "Oh, I would do a lot different. I would, first of all, never have opened up the border. I would have, even though I said the border was secure, that was my job to say that."
She was a border czar.
Right? All she had to do was say, that was my job to say that. I disagreed with it, and we need to fix it. Right? She was so worried about hurting Joe Biden's legacy. Right? She could never win playing both sides. She was in a bad spot. I'll give her that. She was in a bad spot, but it's like what is it? What do they always say? It's about winning elections. It ain't about. What do you think they make up all the lies about Trump? You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to me. Like, he's a national abortion ban. He's gonna put Americans. He's gonna sick the American military on people. Like, just crazy things. Like, and if you really think about what they were saying, they were so crazy. After Trump was a president for 4 years, nobody believed him. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is 3 months ago on Bovada, Kamala had a slight edge on Donald Trump.
I know. I should have gone all in then.
If she would have just went the Joe Biden route of just hiding in the basement until Election Day, there's a possibility she could have won. But she just performed so badly in front of the mics, and, you know, her teleprompter goes out, and she just repeats 32 days.
Yeah.
Like that. Like,
I remember that. That was unbelievable.
And yeah, I wish I would have done that 7-state parlay. One of my friends actually did that, and it paid it was like plus 960 or some shit.
Yeah, that's about what I figured.
But I did bet on Donald Trump. So I won them.
Yeah. Well, I bet on Donald Trump when I lost to Phil, which was a ridiculous bet I made 3 years ago.
I lost a fortune 4 years ago, so I went a little lighter this time. But
yeah, I mean, I was so sure of it. But you know what? What stopped me from like going all in, like, and really just betting my whole net worth and going for the double up was I was worried that they might, if the election's close, they might do what they're like doing in Arizona and Nevada now, like a week-long election. Who's going to win the Senate?
Oh yeah, they're still counting those states, but they got the other ones locked up, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I went to bed in 2020. Thinking, you know, I just won $3,000 or whatever.
And you woke up and they flipped everything.
What the fuck happened?
Listen, just look at the fucking. All you gotta look is the data. Look at the data, okay? I mean, they said the odds of the data of that happening are like 1 in a fucking 10 billion or something, 100 million, some crazy number. But I'm not. Yeah. Listen, 2020 is long gone. We got the House, we got the Senate. We got the popular vote. We got it all.
That's trifecta.
Okay. We the first Republican to win the popular vote since 1988. That's 36 fucking years. So there's no more, we're going to fight. I'm listening to them. Even now they're like, we're going to fight Trump's agenda. Fight Trump's agenda? You got a fucking mandate. You got a popular vote. You got him to win an electoral landslide. He almost flipped Illinois and New Jersey. Illinois, who Biden won by 23 points, he won by 4. New Jersey by 5. California is like 6. California is like
Illinois is the Chicago area, and Kamala still only won by what, like 6%?
4% in Illinois.
4%.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is a political earthquake. This is African American men went up 7% for Trump. All the Latinos flipped. He got 54% of the Latino vote, 52%. Do you understand that Obama got 86% of the Latino vote? He has flipped the entire country, okay? Because he's showing people common sense and what it takes. And listen, there's no such thing. If you're a Democrat that's on my show, that my friends, and I know a lot of my friends that listen, this is an awakening. And you need to sit there and understand. Unless the Democrat Party comes back to the center, they are not going to win any elections. You know? You think people were happy watching the Hamas sympathizers attacking people in the streets and chatting, wearing pro-Hamas fucking gear? Like Trump said, I kicked them. out of the country. Those are terrorists. When you're supporting terrorists, that's not free speech. That's causing violence. You know what I mean?
I think my message to the Democrat voters is to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and just wait for Trump to do his magic. And if he fucks up, then they can say, I told you so. But he's not going to. He's going to do a much better job than Kamala, who was not qualified whatsoever to even run for president. Obviously, she got 0 votes.
I mean, like he just said, Riley, we won Dearborn, Michigan. That's the first time Republicans won Dearborn, Michigan since 1988.
And they got 88% of the vote there, of the Middle Eastern vote, I think.
Yeah, and you know what else? Which is pretty crazy is, when I knew the election was over? I knew it was over at 5:05 p.m. when Bucks County in Pennsylvania, which was 98% African American, went for Trump. First time that county went for Trump for a Republican since 1870. I knew the election was over right then. Right then.
Yeah, and they had goofy stuff going on there. Did you see they were shutting down one of the voting booths on Trump supporters?
Yeah, they ended up getting 2 hours. The polls stayed open 2 hours later in the one county.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, when you see a county that hasn't gone Republican since 1870 at 5:05 go Republican, it's over. The election's over. It should be like I should have been live betting right then and there at 5:05. All I could bet on Trump, because that's not possible. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Listen, Trump ran a perfect campaign. Listen, and I'll say it, I was ripping on him in August. But come September, October, he ran a perfect campaign, and after the DNC was done and she had to start talking, it's just what happened, just like in 2019 when she dropped out. She polled at 19%, and in 3 weeks she was down to 1% because she's just a bad politician. She's just a fake. You have to be authentic, right? Why did Trump connect to all these poor people, white people? Because whether you believed him or not, whether you think he pretended or was honest, he gave them hope.
You know what's funny is, like, Joe Rogan tried to throw her a line and try to, like, he said he just wants to have a natural conversation with her. And
did you see today he came out and said they asked for an hour interview and they wanted it what's it called?
Him to meet her, which he's never done.
And they wanted it to be cut. They wanted certain things to be cut in and out of it.
Yeah, cut it up and slice it up like all the other interviews.
Well, just like everything they say about Trump, like they cut up. It's so amazing. They take what he says and they cut like 5 clips of him talking and they make it out like that's what he said. Right,
he goes on Joe Rogan, and they can't do that.
And with Kamala,
Rogan,
right? With Kamala, they just post whatever she said, and they don't cut it up. It's unbelievable how dishonest they are. The whole thing about Project 25 was just a joke. The whole thing about that, like, I don't know if this cost her the election was because it was such a landslide, but like when they came out with Trump wants to execute Liz Cheney. That was like, even the dumbest people on the planet who watched that interview knew that he was talking about, the what's it called, the chicken box, like, oh, you want to put people in wars, let you go to war, Yeah,
even Bill Maher is a lefty. He's like, Donald Trump did not say that. That's not what he said. He said, if you want to send tens of thousands of troops to go die at war, you should be at the front lines.
Yeah. Well, I know this. Iran is there. You won't be hearing Iran threatening Israel anymore because they know Trump will just fucking take him out. He won't put up with nothing. And the truth of the matter is, I believe it with all my. I believe before he's put in office, before his inauguration, the fucking Ukraine-Russian war will come to an end. I believe it. Because Trump's going to sit there and he's going to say, Vladimir, you can't have this, this, or this. And Zelensky, we can't have NATO on Russia's border. This is why he attacked in the first place, because the U.S. was threatening to put NATO on the border. And the two cities that Putin wanted, the Donbass region and I forgot the other one, are 81% speak fluent Russian and want to be part of Russia. They voted. They want to be part of Russia. So, with that said, because those two areas want to be part of Russia, I think that they're going to have to make a deal. Okay, this could be part of Russia. Any hostility again, and we're going to intervene, and they will no longer be part of Russia. You know what I'm saying? And we'll sign a peace deal that says we will not put NATO on your border, and that'll end it. You know, but listen, both sides are going to have to come to the thing. But honestly, and I'm not saying this because I supported Trump before the election on Tuesday. All I kept thinking about, and nobody would take it serious, is my country of Israel is at risk of being destroyed, and we are at risk of World War III. And now that the election is over, I know my country of Israel is going to survive, and we are not going to be in World War III. And that is a big lift off of my brain. And I don't know if you think like me, but that's how I felt, and that's how I do feel.
No, it's a very good feeling. You know, I feel very good about a plethora of subjects.
I know that he's going to drain the swamp this time. This presidency will be the biggest life-changing presidency for everybody in this country in the history of the United States, because he's going after the things that matter. Google, YouTube, all these places that censor us are no longer going to be able to censor us. The fact that you Google, where can I vote for Trump on Google, and it won't show you anywhere. Where can I vote for Kamala on Google, and it showed you every place in your area to go. That's election interference, okay? The fact that we're going to get free speech back, and the fact that we are going to stop the 127,000 people a year from dying from fentanyl overdoses. How about if we cut that down to 30,000 a year? Think about that. More people a year die from fentanyl overdoses that died in the fucking Vietnam War. And they just act like it's okay. Come on in. Cross our border. Bring all the fucking drugs. Those days are over, buddy.
You know, if we took the $200 billion that we sent to Ukraine, we could have fixed that problem. We could have fixed homelessness.
Yep.
We could have fixed the southern border all at once. And
listen,
we just pissed it all away.
There's the Rio Grande, so there's places you can't put wall. But the places that you can put wall, 40 feet high, 40 feet down, drones flying around on top, sensors on the bottom, and then, you know, the checkpoints, you go even further. The dogs fucking sniff everything. And let's just say you cut 70%, let's just say you get 70% of the drugs out of the country. I mean, you save 70% more lives, man. We'll see, man. I couldn't believe when Trump came after the cartels today. I thought that was great, you know. But I think they're stronger than Iran. I think they're stronger than probably any military in the world not named Israel or U.S. or Russia. Those fucking cartel people, they got everything. You think they're going to give up their, whatever it is, $100 billion a month fucking income? Whatever the fuck, how crazy, I don't know what it is, but it's ridiculous.
No, they're not going to give it up without a fight.
No. Trump said I'm going to put the fucking military on the cartels today. I love it. I love it. I think people are like, are you crazy? No, buddy. What the fuck? You think you could just keep poisoning our country? Killing 120,000 people a year?
No, Donald Trump wants to make this country great again. He wants to make it strong. He wants to make it healthy. And, you know, I really look forward to that.
Me too. And if he doesn't get things done in the next 2 years where he's got all the power, then you know what? He could go fuck himself, and they all could go fuck themselves. But like like RFK said, he told RFK, you have free reign on everything health related to this country. I want to see a major improvement in 2 years. And RFK said, yes, Mr. President, in 2 years, you're going to see a major improvement.
Just getting those food dyes out of our food, because, if you buy, like, for instance, Fruit Loops in Europe.
Yeah, I was talking about that
earlier. You're
earlier.
not going to have yellow 5 and blue 4 and all that.
Right. There's like 2 ingredients. There's like two things in the Fruit Loops in Europe, and there's like 17 in the United States. What a joke.
Yeah, I bought Cheetos in another country, and there's 5 ingredients, and you buy it here, and it takes up the whole bag.
It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. And Big Pharma not being allowed to advertise on TV is going to be massive. That's what I'm worried about his life, dude. You think that's what kind of money that is? They're going to try and take him out, bro. We just got to pray for his life, dude. We got to just pray that he's safe. These people are crazy, man.
Yeah, I hope for the best, but yeah, it's a very real threat. I wish he could walk around plexiglass everywhere he goes, but
yeah. I know one thing. Like in 2016, on the inauguration, he walked down the main street. I don't want him walking down the main street this time. I don't trust. I think it's too dangerous. So, but I'm thinking about going to the inauguration, and if I do, I have invites, because I know very, very powerful political people. I got invites to the Trump inauguration ball. I got invites to all the big parties. So I think I'm going to go, but I'm going to have to use my scooter because it's just too much walking for me. And I think that. As long as I'm looking forward. I'm pretty excited for.
That's awesome, man. It sounds like a really fun time.
Listen, I went all in on Trump when they tried to jail him for bullshit. If anybody who read those indictments knew it was bullshit. Even if you're on the left, if you read the indictments, you know they were bullshit. When they fucking said Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million. First of all, it's worth about $250 million, and if you count the fact that Trump lives there, it's probably worth a lot more. Like if somebody wants to buy the house that Trump lived in for fucking all those years, like probably double, whatever. The fact that the Judge Erdogan, with the smirk on his face before the trial started, when he took that selfie, and then $454 million. Now he says today that he's leaning on dropping the case. Of course they're dropping the case.
Yeah, perfect timing, right?
Just like the fucking the ass fuck that was for the document case, or the one they tried to get Trump on January 6th. He's dropping. They're all dropping the cases. They're dropping the cases because if they were real, they wouldn't be dropping the cases. They were never real. Everything's going to get dropped. It was always political. Think about it. If they were really real, right? If he was really a 34-time felon, wouldn't they have been running commercials nonstop? How could you vote for a 34-time convicted felon? They never ran a commercial on that because they always knew it was getting overturned. Think about it. Think about it. All right.
Yeah, and they don't want you looking into that too much because then you might start looking into all the things that they're, criminally liable for.
All right, man. Have a good one. I'm going to get on out of here. Have a great weekend. The world's in a good place now, buddy. World's in a good place.
Damn right, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it. All right, guys. So, listen, here we go. Number one pick of the week. I took 4. It's 3.5. You can buy it to 4. I love the Saints this week with the new coach. My second best pick of the week is the Colts +4 against the Bills. Bills have a lot of injuries. Third best pick is Denver. I'm going against the Bills and Kansas City, who play next week for basically the 1 seed. I think they both come flat. I think they win, but I think it's going to be a close game. My number 4 pick is the Miami Dolphins, And the number 5 pick, the number got away, is the New York Giants. I still think the Giants winning cover, but it's going to be a little bit closer, not laying 5 and laying 6.5. All right, guys. See you next week on the Mouthpiece.
The Mouthpiece.